So first I have the top 100 list. So how do we justify this list? All right. So we all know that it is not correct. We all got upset at certain rankings of it, and we all know it's a flawed list. So first of all, not all players vote. We all know that. And also the voting takes place at different times of the year. The voting process starts around Thanksgiving time, so that NFL players can see most of the season go by. But players can turn in whenever they want, whether it's at that time, Thanksgiving, or later on, closer to the playoff time. So all those different things can influence these different rankings. And second of all, they take the top 20 of each player. So the player writes down, all right, these are my top 20, and each player does that, of the ones that actually vote for it, and that gets compiled together with all these different votes into the top 100. So really it's the top 20, but it becomes the top 100. But then also you get the sense that players vote for their own position or their own opposition, such as a wide receiver probably will not vote for the offensive lineman, but probably will vote for companion wide receivers, teammates that are wide receivers, or even cornerbacks on their own team or on other teams, because they have a lot more correlation with them and know a lot more. Quarterbacks may vote for other quarterbacks, but then also vote for different linebackers probably, and cornerbacks, or even safeties. Offensive linemen will definitely vote for other offensive linemen and other defensive linemen because they know that part of the football field and have their attention more drawn towards it. And when that becomes clear, and when you know that, and you don't really fret over all these different rankings, because we know that they're not correct completely. The explanation of why some players are ahead of others in these rankings become a bit more clear, such as Baker Mayfield being ranked 50th and Deshaun Watson ranked 51st. Right now, I believe that Deshaun Watson is clearly better than Baker Mayfield, but the reality is that narrative does count. Baker Mayfield's coming off a historic year for a rookie quarterback, getting 27 touchdowns, which is the record for any rookie quarterback. Granted, he did not play the first 2 games and came in halfway through the 3rd game of the season for the Browns, which they beat the Jets in a comeback, I believe. So you have that narrative, historic aspect of it. And then this team went 7-8-1, barely missing the playoffs. And they haven't been to the playoffs in however long. So there's that's that narrative where he's bringing them back, the dog man, he's bringing them back. But then also, you look at Drew Brees, he was ranked 2nd. And then Patrick Mahomes was ranked 4th, I believe, because it was Aaron Donald, Drew Brees, Khalil Mack, and then Patrick Mahomes. I'm pretty sure that was the order. But we all know that Patrick Mahomes won MVP, and he clearly had a better season than Drew Brees throughout the whole season, consistently. Whereas Drew Brees, as we know, slipped off and fell off at the end. But then again, you can see the reasoning behind it, because this voting process takes place during Thanksgiving and extends from there. So maybe Drew Brees got a whole lot of votes early on. And then, of course, Patrick Mahomes got some really good votes as well. But Drew Brees was more of the leader in those votes early on near Thanksgiving time before he really slipped off and didn't play as well. And then also Julian Edelman, I believe he was ranked 90-something. He was ranked in 96 or something like that. Does he deserve to be on that list? Maybe, I don't really know, but does it really matter? Because again, the narrative. He wasn't there a couple seasons ago during the, I believe, Eagles Super Bowl. He wasn't there. And we saw that, even though Tom Brady played really good, but wasn't there. Who is his really number 1 wide receiver aside from Rob Gronkowski. But I think we all can tell that his play with Tom Brady throughout the season, and other teams can tell that, is his play with Tom Brady is amazing, and he's a big part of the reason why Tom Brady is successful and the Patriots are successful, because he can do anything. 3rd and 10, he'll get that ball. He's small, but he can do anything. He can do anything on the football field. So that's probably why he got into the top 100, because of his versatility. But the big picture of it all is don't really worry about where all these rankings are in the top 100. For all we know, Khalil Mack is really number 1, and Aaron Donald should be number 2, and then should be Patrick Mahomes and then Drew Brees. Maybe that's how the rankings should be. Or maybe it's just Aaron Donald and then Khalil Mack, and you have all these defensive players. Or maybe it should be all quarterbacks because they're the most valuable. Maybe it should be all that. But we all know it's not perfect. Don't worry too much about the rankings. But the one thing that we do know for sure is that the players that are on this list are some of the best in the league and are the best of the best. They're the best of the best, no matter what, because they made it onto this list. And if they didn't make this list, they're still good, but they're not the best of the best.